Hi there, and thank you for joining UnSCRIPted. I'm Angela Kashuba, Dean of the UNC Eshelman School of Pharmacy. We have an amazing community here at the school, all working toward a shared goal of solving the world's most pressing healthcare challenges. I'm excited for you to hear unscripted stories of our faculty, staff, students, alums, and partners. Today, I have with me Kelly Collins in my office, who is Foundation President and Associate Dean of the school.
And today I have with me Angela Kashuba, Dean of the UNC Eshelman School of Pharmacy. Surprise! How's it feel to be in the hot seat?
Oh my goodness. Well, okay. Fire away.
Welcome to this special episode of UnSCRIPted. So let's start with the basics. Why did you become a pharmacist?
Because my mother told me to.
Oh yeah, and you always do what your mother tells you?
Always do what your mother tells you to. So I'm a first generation college student, and I felt like I had an affinity for healthcare, but also had a bit of an artistic bent. And I wasn't sure what direction I wanted to head in. And I just automatically thought, well, medicine is probably where I should go. But I was also interested in medical illustration. But my mom had a very good friend that she worked with in a laboratory whose brother was a pharmacist. And so she had encouraged me to talk to him about pharmacy. And so I went over to his house and I spent some time with his family and talked to him about the profession of pharmacy. I then went to the pharmacy school open house at the University of Toronto. And I still remember that day because I was so impressed with the enthusiasm of the students. They were so excited about what they were doing. They wanted to share what they were doing with me as a high school student. And I was really hooked by that level of energy and enthusiasm for the pharmacy profession. And so that's the path I followed.
I love that. We hear so often from our alums how they got into pharmacy was from a friend, a neighbor, an uncle, a parent. And so it seems there's that connection, right?
Yeah.
So talk to me about pharmacy school itself for you. What did that look like?
I had no idea what I was doing because I was really, my parents didn't go to college. I was the first person in my extended family who went to college. And so there was a lot that I didn't know and had to figure out for myself. And in fact, we didn't have enough money for me to stay on campus. Yeah. And so I was a commuter student. So I had to walk to the subway station. I took the subway and then I took the bus into downtown and then walked to the pharmacy school. So it was quite a commute. It was challenging for me, but I loved it. I loved the community of students in my class.
And how has that experience being first generation and having to travel and work during school influenced how you've thought about our scholarship program and how we give scholarships here at the pharmacy school?
Yeah. I love our scholarship program. I love the fact that we've created some pretty significant impact where we have many full ride scholarships for our students. Now, we're the best bargain in North Carolina and actually in the lower quartile of tuition nationally, which is terrific. But still, that amount of tuition, even for me, looking at that would have been out of reach. Yeah. So us being able to create scholarships for our students who are first generation, who can't necessarily see themselves even to the best bargain in the state, being able to come here, having that ability to provide financial relief and not having the finances be a barrier to achieving their dreams, I think is really important. And I think we now give scholarships to about 25% of our students overall.
And I know that you are really passionate about our Asheville campus.
Yeah.
And some of that passion is rooted not just in your personal background that you described, but also in early training experience that you have. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So during my PharmD program, I got my Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy from the University of Toronto, and then received my postbac PharmD from SUNY Buffalo.
Okay.
And during my training at SUNY Buffalo, I was introduced to a little town called Cooperstown, New York. At the time, had one flashing yellow light at their main intersection in downtown, but there was a teaching hospital there affiliated with Columbia University. And so as we were exposed to different opportunities for clinical rotations, I chose to go to Cooperstown to understand what that was like. And that really changed my perception around healthcare and healthcare delivery, because all of my experiences had been in a very urban environment. Had been in Toronto, and I had been working as a critical care pharmacist in downtown Toronto before I had gone to Buffalo. And I spent 2 years there in a postdoc position doing both of those things, clinical care along with research. And the opportunity to outreach into those rural communities was really special. The ability to train in a small community environment with other medical students, medical residents, nursing students, occupational therapy students, the list goes on, to be able to train in that environment. There was a really close-knit culture of collaboration and the ability to work on the floors of the hospital or to work in the clinic. There weren't a whole lot of barriers. So being able to train in a rural environment was really influential to me. And so us being able to provide that experience to our students, I think is just tremendous.
And so then you came to Carolina 27 years ago.
I did.
So what brought you here and what has kept you here?
Yeah. So at the time, Odin and I were engaged, and we were looking literally across the country for positions to be in. I had met him in Cooperstown, and we're trying to find a place that felt like home for both of us. And we interviewed from one coast all the way to the other coast and in the middle of the country, and really found amazing opportunities here in Carolina. And so as I interviewed for faculty positions across the country, I would ask for an opportunity to interview with School of Medicine faculty, preferably who were in the infectious disease space. And at every place where I asked that question, the response was, well, can you get on the website and look and see who you might think would be best? And then we will try and link you with those people. But when I asked that question here, are there physicians who I might be able to talk to about clinical research? The answer I got was absolutely, here's the 5 people that we are going to put you in contact with that you can talk to. The ability to connect with the School of Medicine, that kind of embodies the spirit of Carolina, where there's this interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary culture where people want to see your research succeed. And there's very few barriers to that. And so that is really what drew me here, is that there was multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary research being done.
So you still, as dean, maintain a lab. Tell me about your research.
Yeah. So my lab is fantastic. It is really a happy place for me. And the scientists who work in my lab are just first in class. And I couldn't be more proud of all of their efforts. So the laboratory is focused on using pharmacology tools and techniques to optimize HIV treatment, prevention, and cure. We also, within the laboratory, we also have a Center for AIDS Research Core facility, which allows us to work with investigators globally on their needs. And so us being able to take our skills and tools and knowledge and being able to pay it forward and help other people with their research. So that was something that I had when I first came here, and now we can do the same thing for investigators around the globe. That's really rewarding and special. So that was one of the non-negotiables, is that I still needed to be able to spend a day with my lab.
So it's hard to believe, but you've been dean for almost 5 years
I
now.
know,
One of our
yeah.
most tenured deans on campus now. As you reflect on the past 5 years, what have we accomplished at the school that makes you the most proud?
Wow. There are a lot of things that make me proud of this place. One is our #1 ranking. And our ranking is reputation based. It's not metrics based. And I think having our peers recognize the good work that our faculty and staff are doing here in educating our students is particularly rewarding. So I think we've done a great job there. Doubling our research enterprise in 4 or 5 years, where we went from about 39 million to now 87 million in funding for our research enterprise, is incredible. I don't know of any other institution that's been able to do that in 4 years. So that speaks to the amazing leadership of Dr. Kim Brower, along with our faculty just killing it in terms of grants and contracts and moving their research forward. Even more importantly for me is not just the dollar amount, but it's the impact that they're making. And knowing that that amount of funding is coming to us because our faculty are on the right track in terms of making an impact. So I think that is wonderful. We've done some amazing things with our curriculum as well in order to improve our curriculum and improve the experiential placement of our students. So I'm very proud of that. And I'm particularly proud of the work that the foundation has done and the Pharmacy Alumni Association in reconnecting us with our alums.
Yeah, it's amazing the breadth of what gets done in this place,
Yeah.
from the range of research to the student activity to Eshelman innovation.
Right.
It's just incredible.
Right. Yeah.
And I love that sometimes you describe yourself as chief cheerleader,
Yeah.
right? And helping get
Yeah.
things moved along.
Yeah. But and you mentioned Eshelman innovation, and that is, over the last 5 years, Eshelman innovation has really transformed itself into a translational engine. The fact that it and you started READY, the Rapidly Emerging Antiviral Drug Discovery Initiative, I mean, that has been incredible, which is now considered the global leader for pandemic preparedness for small molecules. I mean, that's amazing work.
Yeah.
And so us as a school being able to have that incredible resource of Eshelman innovation to not just work on maybe the small molecule drug discovery and development side of things, but also digital health side of things as well, and bringing that opportunity across our state has also, I think, started a transformational process for North Carolina, which I'm excited about.
Yeah. So this week you received an award from the Carolina Alumni Faculty Service Award, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
How did it feel to you to receive this very well-deserved recognition?
Yeah, well, I see there were a lot of people on that list who I admire, and I don't necessarily put myself in that same category. So it was humbling and a bit bewildering because I'm still not sure of exactly what I did to deserve that award. But I think, again, it speaks to our ability as a school to serve the state of North Carolina and to really focus on the health of North Carolinians and fill healthcare gaps.
Okay, and last,
Yeah.
Tell us something that we don't know about you.
Something that you don't know about me. Did you know I made my own wedding cake?
Tell me more.
So I've been a baker all my life, and I learned from my grandmothers and my mom, and that was the way that I was relaxing before my wedding with all of the wedding stress, was to be able to make my own wedding cake. And so
Amazing.
yeah, so I did that as a stress reliever.
So what type of cake was it?
There were multiple.
Of course there
So there
were, because you are Dean Kashuba.
So there were about 5 different
5.
flavors in multiple tiers.
Is it safe to assume chocolate was among
Chocolate
the flavors?
was among the flavors. Well, I'll give you something else that maybe not too many people know, and that is the first license plate that I had on my first car said chocolate on it, because it's no secret that I'm a chocolate lover. But I did put chocolate as my license plate, and did have multiple variations of chocolate for my wedding cake.
I love it. And we have the chocolate tradition here in our family, started by Bill Campbell.
Chocolate Day, which, I knew I loved Bill Campbell, but then when the first Chocolate Day came along, that sealed it for me.
Sealed the deal. I love it. Well, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me, and congratulations on the big month. #1 award.
Yeah.
It's all well-deserved in recognition of your leadership.
Well, thank you so much for usurping this conversation. I appreciate it.
No problem.
And thank you for watching.
I'll let you go.
Okay. We love sharing stories of those who make the UNC Eshelman School of Pharmacy excellent. We hope you will join us for the next episode of UnSCRIPted, conversations with the people who are advancing medicine for life.